Have you ever found yourself lost in a mix, wondering why the low end feels cluttered, muddy, and just not as impactful as you envisioned? Been there, got the t-shirt. I'm Justin with From Zero to Studio, and today I want to show you the power of sidechain compression. Sidechain compression is an incredible tool that can help your low-end instruments work together rather than competing for the same sonic space. In this video, I'll show you how to sidechain your bass and kick drum so you can start to develop a tight and focused low end in your mixes. So before we dive in, I want to offer you my free compression cheat sheet. Compression is one of the most important mixing tools, however, it's often the most misunderstood. So what I've done is I've broken down the basic functions of a compressor in an easy to understand way, and I've also included some of the best practices for using compression in your recordings. If you want that guide, you can download it absolutely free as my gift to you by going to FromZeroToStudio.com/compression or by clicking the link below in the description, and you can download the guide there. All right, let's jump into the DAW. When the low frequencies in a mix are not controlled well, they tend to clash, and this results in a lack of clarity in your low end. These low end issues are very common between the kick drum and bass guitar. One way to help with this is to insert a compressor on the bass guitar and control this compressor with the kick drum. Every time the kick drum hits, it will trigger the compressor and essentially turn down the bass for that split second. That, my friend, is sidechain compression. With sidechain compression, we're not eliminating the bass on those hits, so you'll still hear it. We're just creating a small amount of additional space so that the kick and bass work well together. So here we have a kick drum track and a bass guitar track. Let's take a listen to those. To sidechain these, first insert a compressor on the bass guitar track. In this song, I actually have my bass track duplicated with different processing on each, and then both tracks are routed to a bass bus or group track so I can control the final bass sound. So I have this compressor on that group track. Now, most plugins today have sidechaining capabilities, but there are some that don't. So you want to make sure that whichever compressor you choose has this feature. Let's turn on sidechaining in this plugin. Next, we want to send the kick drum to this compressor plugin, and for that, we're going to use our sends. Under the kick drum sends, select the bass guitar compressor and enable it. We're also going to set this to pre-fader. That means it's going to send the full level of the kick drum, and it won't be affected if you make any other fader adjustments down the line. Now, depending on your DAW, you may have to manually route both the send and the compressor to the same available bus, and basically tell the plugin where you want its input signal coming from. In that case, you would want the input signal coming from the kick drum. However, in Cubase, any available sidechains show up under the sends. For your compressor settings, I would aim for a fast attack and fast release at a ratio of 2:1 or 3:1. The attack is how long it takes for the compressor to turn down the bass, and in this case, we want it right when the kick drum hits. The release is how long it takes for the compressor to stop compressing the bass. We also want this to release pretty quickly so the bass immediately goes back to its normal level when the kick drum isn't playing. The ratio is how much compression is applied. Higher ratios mean more compression, so something modest like 2:1 or 3:1 is good here. Once you have those set, lower the threshold until you see about 3 decibels of gain reduction on the meters. That's a pretty good amount to aim for. If you lower the threshold an extreme amount, you can really hear it working on those kick hits, but the goal for this is to be subtle. And these are just general recommendations that should work for most kick and bass sidechaining. You still may have to experiment with these settings a bit to find what sounds best for your specific song. Let's take a listen to that with the compressor bypassed. Now let's turn it back on. So that's one way you can use sidechain compression to help tighten up the low end in a mix. In this case, it just creates a little extra breathing room for the kick drum. And even if it wasn't a huge wow factor of a difference, you need to remember that mixing is filled with a bunch of small moves that all come together and have to work together to create a masterpiece. And this is one of those moves. So try it out on your own song and see if it helps. And also, don't forget to download my free compression cheat sheet. This guide breaks down compression in an easy to understand way, and it's just a helpful guide to have in your back pocket. Just go to FromZeroToStudio.com/compression or click the link below in the description and you can download the guide there. But that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. I'll see you on another video soon.